So here's a fractions word problem tutorial video. And the question reads, the Randall family spends half of its monthly budget on house expenses, 3/20ths on food, and 3/20ths on car payments. What fraction of their budget is left over? So for word problems, and especially with fractions, it's nice to draw a picture just so you can visualize what the question's asking for. So if I draw the Randall's monthly budget, here's their one budget. I'm going to draw it as a box. So here's their budget. And let's say that they spend half of it. So let's say they spend this left side. I'm going to shade it in. This is gone. This is spent. And then they also spend, let's say this over here represents, let's say this represents 3/20ths. This over here represented 1/2. And let's say they spend another 3/20ths. Let's say it's this over here. Shade that in. 3/20ths. The question then is, what's left? And what's left, of course, is this red piece over here that I'm shading in. This is what's left. But as a drawing, that doesn't really tell us how much is left. What we're looking for is basically what fraction is left. So we know that the answer is going to be some fraction number. So here's how we do this mathematically. We have one budget. Remember that the number 1 represents 100%. And I can show that to you by saying 100% means the same thing as 100 out of 100. And if I reduce this by dividing the top and the bottom by 100, I get 1 over 1, which is 1. So 100% and 1 are the same thing. So if I start off with 100% of the budget, I have one budget. And then I take away from that half for house payments, and another, I take away again 3/20ths for food, and another 3/20ths for car, then whatever's left over from this subtraction here, whatever's left over is that red piece that is our leftover budget. So to do this, I'm going to put this big 1 over 1, because we have fractions everywhere. We want the same denominator everywhere. And to get the same denominator, and I'm going to make the common denominator 20. To do that, I'm going to multiply this by 20 on the bottom and by 20 on top. And multiply this by 10 on the bottom, 10 on the top. And the other two are already on 20, so I don't have to change anything. So this becomes 20 over 20. Let me just move aside this 100% thing that I don't need anymore. I'm going to move it away. 20 over 20 is the 1 over 1. It's 20 over 20. Minus, now I have over 20 how much? 1 times 10, that's 10. Minus 3 over 20, minus, again, 3 over 20. So what this is saying is I've got 20 20s, I'm losing 10 20s, I'm losing another 3 20s, and finally I'm losing one last time, another 3 20s. So how many 20s are left? Well, 20 minus 10 is 10. 10 minus 3, that's 7. 7 minus 3, that's 4 20s. Can I reduce this? Yes, I can. I could divide the top by 4. I could divide the bottom by 4, which gives me 1 over 5. So what fraction of the budget is left over? 1/5 of the budget is left over.